The year is today, you are being born, and that should be impossible because you are a Titanoboa, a species that has been extinct for 58 million years. Your fossilized vertebrae were discovered in a Colombian coal mine in 2009, and scientists estimated you were 13 meters long and weighed over 1,100 kilograms, larger than any anaconda, larger than any python, larger than anything that currently slithers, crawls, or swims in the Amazon basin today. And yet, here you are, sliding out of your mother into a flooded forest, very much alive, very much real, and already facing your first problem. The water is 27 degrees Celsius. You need at least 30 to function properly. This is not a minor inconvenience. This is a biological emergency. You are cold-blooded, which scientists call ectothermic, meaning your body generates zero internal heat. Every single chemical reaction in your body, digestion, muscle contraction, nerve signals, everything, depends entirely on the temperature of the water around you. Right now, that water is 3 degrees too cold, and your brain is already running at maybe 60% capacity. You weigh 30 kilograms. You are 2 meters long. You are the largest newborn snake in the history of Earth. And your mother has already left, because snakes don't do parental care, a strategy that has worked for 100 million years and is absolutely not changing today. Something is moving in the reeds. You have been alive for 12 seconds, and your first decision is already life or death. You sink lower in the water instead of investigating, and that's the right call. The thing in the reeds is a spectacled caiman, roughly 2 meters long, which makes it exactly your size. Here's a fact most people don't know. Caimans have been largely unchanged for 80 million years, which means they existed at the same time your species did. They survived the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs. This animal across from you is functionally a living fossil, and it hunts by ambush, exactly the same strategy you were built for. Right now, it hasn't noticed you because you're partially submerged and you look like a floating log. Your first survival strategy, look like debris, it works. The caiman swims past hunting fish, and you exhale, slowly, into the dark water. You wedge yourself between two submerged roots and wait, but waiting is making things worse. Your body temperature is still dropping. You have maybe 20 minutes before you become too slow to escape anything that finds you. There is a log about 2 meters away, fully exposed to direct sunlight. You can see heat shimmer rising off the wood. You push off from the roots and swim toward it, and swimming comes naturally because instinct doesn't require memory. Instinct is genetic memory, millions of years of survival behavior encoded into your DNA before you were ever born. You reach the log and spend 4 embarrassing attempts trying to haul 30 kilograms of muscle onto it without arms. On the 5th try, you make it. The heat soaks into your scales immediately. Your neurons fire faster, your muscles respond properly. You realize that for the last 10 minutes, you've been functionally brain damaged from the cold, and now, for the first time, you are actually thinking clearly. Here's something most people don't know about Titanoboa. Paleontologists believe that for a cold-blooded animal to reach this size, it needed an average ambient temperature of at least 30 to 34 degrees Celsius year-round. This is why Titanoboa existed during the Paleocene epoch, when the tropics were significantly hotter than today. The modern Amazon is warm, but it might not be quite warm enough for your long-term survival. That problem is for future you. You bask for 3 hours and watch the swamp teach you how it works. A capybara comes to drink. A caiman lunges. It escapes. A heron stabs a fish with surgical precision. A 5-meter anaconda slides through the water like a shadow. Everything here is hunting or being hunted, and there is no third option. No days off, no retirement plan. The Amazon doesn't negotiate. 6 hours after your birth, you catch your first fish. A catfish, 30 centimeters long, distracted, swimming in circles. You miss the first 2 strikes, because striking is a skill, not just instinct. And on the 3rd attempt, your jaws clamp down and your coils wrap automatically, compressing until its heart stops. Constriction doesn't kill by suffocation. That's a common myth. It kills by cardiac arrest, cutting off blood circulation so efficiently that the heart simply stops. The whole process takes 20 seconds. You swallow it headfirst over the next 10 minutes, using backward-angled muscles in your throat to pull it down, and you won't need to eat again for 3 days. 3 weeks pass. You are growing at almost half an inch per day, which is extraordinary even by snake standards, but Titanoboa's fossil record suggests rapid juvenile growth. driven by the sheer metabolic demand of reaching viable predator size as fast as possible. You are 3 meters now, 60 kilograms. You have graduated from definitely going to die to probably going to die. Progress. You've had close calls. A jaguar almost spotted you basking. An adult anaconda swam directly over your hiding spot. A black caiman passed within 2 meters while you held your breath for 40 minutes. You start hunting young capybaras, Hydroquarus hydrocharis, the world's largest rodent, up to 65 kilograms as adults. They come to the water at dusk in groups, and the young ones are slower and less aware. You've killed 4, you're getting faster. But there's still that 6-meter anaconda hunting your territory, and every time you see it, you hide, because fighting it right now would be insane. You claim an oxbow lake, a section of river cut off when the main channel shifted, with good depth, plenty of fish, and a capybara herd that has apparently not updated its risk assessment to include you. You make it your territory, and you start the long, methodical process of growing into something this swamp has never seen before. The dry season starts, and the oxbow lake begins shrinking. Prey concentrates into a smaller area. You and the 5-meter anaconda are now running into each other constantly, and the unspoken agreement to hunt different sections is breaking down. One evening, you both strike at the same time, different targets, you both succeed, and now you're both anchored in the shallows 10 meters apart, wrapped around kills, watching each other. The anaconda finishes first. Instead of leaving, it comes toward you. This is a territorial challenge. Leaving would be smart. You don't leave. What happens next is nothing like how mammals fight. No biting, no clawing, just 2 snakes wrapped around each other, squeezing, waiting for the other to weaken. This is called ophidian combat, and it can last hours. You outweigh it by 100 kilograms. After 40 minutes, its grip starts slipping. After 50 minutes, it stops moving. You spend the next 6 hours eating it head first. In nature, there is no loyalty to your own species. Food is food. The lake is entirely yours now. You are 7 meters long. You weigh 200 kilograms. A jaguar comes to drink at your sandbar one morning. A male, roughly 90 kilograms, the Amazon's most efficient land predator, capable of crushing a caiman's skull with a single bite. It sees you. You see it. Neither of you move for 90 seconds, both running the same threat calculation. The jaguar decides water isn't worth it and walks away. Smart animal. You kill your first tapir at 12 meters, 220 kilograms of dense muscle and bone. After 18 days of watching, learning its patterns, memorizing its schedule, the strike, the coil, 8 minutes to cardiac arrest, then 6 hours to swallow, you won't eat again for 3 months. Here's the scientific reality. Titanoboa's diet is still debated. Early analysis of the fossil site suggested it was primarily a fish specialist, based on the giant lungfish and large turtles found nearby. But later studies argued its skull structure and body size indicate it could take large terrestrial prey too, similar to modern anacondas but scaled up dramatically. You are in real time resolving a scientific debate. You are 12.5 meters, 1,100 kilograms. The black caiman you've been avoiding for months, 4 meters, 350 kilograms, the current apex predator of this river section, doesn't know you've moved in. You watch it for 3 days. On the 4th, it's hunting fish in the shallows, head down, distracted. You cover 3 meters in under a second and clamp your jaws behind its head before it can turn. Its jaws snap shut 15 centimeters from your skull, with enough force to shatter bone. But your coils are already locked. Every thrash burns its energy. After 35 minutes, its heart stops. You spend the rest of the day swallowing it. By the time you're done, you look physically deformed from the bulk inside you. You sink to the bottom of the river and don't move for 4 weeks. When you resurface, you have grown another half meter. The caimans that used to share this river now hunt in completely different sections. The anacondas have relocated. The fish population has reorganized itself around avoiding you. Prey animals that used to drink freely from your section of river now check the water first, and sometimes they just don't drink. They choose dehydration over the risk of you. That is not just survival, that is ecological dominance. You have restructured the behavior of an entire river system simply by existing in it. There is one remaining variable: temperature. The Amazon today averages 26 to 28 degrees Celsius, which is at the very edge of what your physiology can sustain. Paleontologists believe that if climate change continues warming the Amazon basin by even 2 to 3 degrees, the thermal conditions would theoretically approach what Titanoboa originally evolved in. Whether that's terrifying or fascinating depends entirely on whether you're a scientist or something that drinks from a river. You are 13 meters long, you weigh 1,150 kilograms, you have been extinct for 58 million years, and the modern Amazon was not built to contain something like you, but it has bent around you instead of breaking you. Somewhere downstream, a group of capybaras is drinking at the bank. In about 15 minutes, their day is going to get significantly worse. The water is yours, the prey is yours. And if the temperature holds, you might live another 30 years growing larger, slower, and more impossible to kill. Nature said you couldn't exist here. You're still here, still growing, still hunting. And the river very quietly has learned to make room. If you enjoyed this, drop a like and comment which extinct predator you want to see next. T-Rex, Megalodon, or Velociraptor. I'm reading every suggestion. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one.